Jack, you're first this time. Good evening. Happy Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday, Tuesday, holiday week. Tuesday? Yeah, it is Tuesday, right?
It is Tuesday.
Tailgate Tuesday with Idle Zone Syndicate.
What's up, peeps?
Missing somebody this evening, but he said he would join soon, maybe.
Oh, Mr. Crank?
Yeah.
I think Mr. Crank is now it's his turn for T-ball. And they're just getting started. I think tonight was the first practice.
Fun.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Ours wrapped up just before the rainy season started here.
Outstanding.
Yours was early.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they do that so they can do baseball or something later, or is baseball over too?
That was just like a little rec league. So, I think they just get it done before the end of the school year also. And then it's nice, honestly, those little kids getting it done before it gets real nasty hot and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how was everybody's weekend?
Pretty chill. I mean, it just rained.
Yeah.
We didn't get the deluge that a lot of you got, but it's still, I mean, it's even been raining off and on today. It wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, it's been raining here off and on too. I mean, we didn't get, at one time they were talking like 5 inches, and it just was like a steady sprinkle all weekend. It really wasn't heavy rain. I don't know how much we got, but the lake is coming up. They're not letting out as much as as much as is coming in, but so it's coming up a little bit. But it was a nice weekend. We had a few guests, so we had some rooms to clean, and Kyle invited me to hop in the boat, but we had some rooms to clean, and I was really wishing, because it was raining and I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of boats out, big boats out.
Nice and quiet.
So I kind of missed out on that, but that's business.
We had a little birthday get together for Max on Saturday, and took him up to just a little lake north of us where we like to go stay once in a while with her grandparents, and caught some bluegill off the dock. And I'm a professional night crawler baiter.
Nice.
So, kids jagged. There wasn't a single bluegill safe in that dock.
Bum.
I tried to skip over that. I knew somebody was going to say something. So,
well, I think we should get right into it this evening. We have a returning guest, and he's not going to be able to stay on as long as we hijack some of the guys. We're just super thankful that he could join us mid-season after a big win. And who do we have this evening?
Fresh off of an Elite Series win at the Sabine River, Mr. Pat Schlapper.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, Pat?
How you doing, John?
I'm good. Not as good as you, but I'm good.
I didn't have to clean any rooms this weekend. I just had to I did have to clean up the yard and do some of that stuff because I'd been gone for 2 months, but feeling good.
The good part about a holiday weekend is the wife is off work from her regular job, so it's not just me cleaning rooms.
Yeah, that helps, I suppose.
Yeah. Cut it in half. Well, sort of in half. She likes to vacuum, and it takes her about as long as it takes me to clean a room for her to vacuum a room. Which is good for our guests. Yeah. That they're vacuumed.
They're clean.
They're clean. But yeah, it was a good weekend.
That's
What'd
good.
you do this weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
What did I do? I did a lot of. We got added some more ground on the garden, so I got to rototill about another 400 square foot. Went to a Memorial Day service. I, like I said, did a lot of yard work. I had to pick up a bunch of sticks from storms, and then I had to mow the lawn and just a lot of that stuff. Worked on tackle. I got my boat all tore apart and organized all my stuff. Because like I said, I've been on the road for 2 months. So between the camper and the boat and the truck, I had a lot of cleaning out to do. So we're pretty well done with that though. So I might get fishing a little bit this next weekend.
Cool. That'll be good. Sorry, I'm watching the Cubs on the. That's why I'm sitting outside so I can watch the Cubs on this TV.
Pat, did you have the Sabine River? Was it on your radar the first of the year? Was that one of those that you were looking forward to, or?
I mean, like my rookie year, it was one of my better tournaments of the year. I think I got like 20th or something like that. And then when we were there 2 years ago, I didn't do very well. So it was one of those places where it's like, I wasn't super excited to go there. But it is a cool place to fish because it's big and I mean, it's like just a different environment. There's redfish and flounder and you can just catch about anything there. And the cool thing with it is if you find a little deal, it's a lot easier to win a tournament like that than the majority of the other ones we fish. Because if you can have a good day like I had the first day and then maintain with decent bags the rest of the tournament, you can win. That's how it usually happens down there. Usually someone has like 15, 16 pounds the first day. And then they might have like a 10, 11 pound day, and then they'll have like 8 pounds. That's usually about how it goes. But the weights were overall lower than normal. And I just happened to get, one of those better than average bags the first day and be leading, and then have better than average days the next 3 days, which granted they were 8.5 to 9.5 pounds, but I was consistent. I didn't have a day, like Ben Milliken was in like fourth the first day and then had 2 fish the second day. I mean, that's the Sabine River. So like I was able to have solid days every day and win, but like I didn't like circle it on the calendar and say I'm going to win on the Sabine, but I mean, I'll gladly take it. And I mean, I just had one of those weeks where it worked out. I found one really good spot that had better than average fish, and I happened to get it the first day. And then just the rest of my plan worked out throughout the week, and I fished pretty well. I mean, like I fished pretty well. So that's what it takes.
I was curious is that you were on live a little bit, obviously, but I mean, what was your boat draw that first day?
I was boat 49. So that was the weird thing was it's like I found that spot where I started, which was way, way, way up Taylor's Bayou, like as far as you could go. You could literally only go another maybe 100 yards before it just ran out of water. And I found that spot middle of the day on day 3. I'd actually tried to get up there on day 1, but there were so many boats around that I couldn't get up there. So day 3, I found that spot, but I knew there was, I seen Brian Schmidt up there and Livesey and Kenta and just Logan Parks. So I told myself, I'm like, well, if I'm in the top 20 in the boat draw, I'll go up there. But if I'm in like 80th, I'm not going to go up there because I can't risk running all the way up there and bypassing all of my other stuff. And then having to come back. And then I draw about 49, which is about the worst because it doesn't make the decision. You know what I mean? You're literally right in the middle. So it's like, if I was boat 20, 25, I'm going. If I was boat 80, I'm not going. Instead, I had to make that decision. But that was kind of the winning decision because, like, I was at first, the night before when I was laying in bed, I'm like, I don't even know. I'm going to figure it out in the morning. And then when I got up in the morning, I was just like, the way my season's been going, Like, I'm truly going to fish to win. I'm not just going to say it like a lot of guys do. I'm going to fish to win. So I'm going to go up there, and if someone's there, then I'll turn around and I'll just fish my way back. And I got all the way up there. Nobody was there. Nobody tried to get in there all day. And I caught 12 something the first day and was leading, and then went back the second day and caught a couple good ones. And like, had I been in like 20th in points, I probably wouldn't have done that because it was too big of a risk to like fall out of the classic cut. And like the classic cuts, especially before this tournament, really wasn't even in my sights because it was so far out of it. Now it's kind of back in reach, but I'm still not like fixating on that. I'm just going to fish how I've been fishing. And if I don't make the classic, I don't make the classic. So, but that was kind of the first turning point of the tournament, was making that decision to run up there and take the chance that no one was there. And then I caught them, because I didn't catch them right away. And I hung around because I'm like, I know they're here. And then about 9:30, I caught all those big ones in like a half hour.
How many miles up there was it?
It was a long ways. I mean, it was an hour run. So
Wow.
yeah, it was an hour. So like, and that was in good conditions, like down on the Sabine there, where I think it's Sabine Lake, where it's, I don't know, it's basically, I don't know, it's giant. And if the wind's blowing out of the south, where the Natchez River comes in, it's rough. There's like an 7-8 mile stretch where it's rough when the wind's out of the south. And it was rough all but one day going there and coming back. So with that, it was a little over an hour to get up there.
Yeah.
From takeoff.
And obviously your average speed's not 70 by any means. So, I mean, it's.
No, because you gotta go through a saltwater barrier, you gotta idle through, and then you just hit that rough water and you're running 35, 40. And then the rest of the way, you're running 65, 68. But I mean, it's a long run, and it's hard too. And like that, the bayou where I caught him the last day, where I caught him on the buzzbait, like I ran by it the first 2 days, and I'm like, it was so hard for me not to turn in there. But like, I knew, I'm like, you just got to go. And both days I looked and nobody was in there. Like, nobody started it. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Someone behind me could have went in there and started, but most of the people were like fishing out on the main run. But man, I drove by so much good stuff on the way up to that spot, but it was the right decision. I knew them fish were there, and I caught five way better than average fish off that spot the first 2 days. So like that was the big, like I wouldn't have got 5 bites the size of the ones I got fishing the main run, most likely. Like that was what made the difference.
And getting to catch them kind of an old school way was pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah, I mean the first day, I mean, it was like flipping that little jig I make, and then a little creature bait. That was what I caught all of them on, and that's what I caught most. I did catch some on a drop shot too throughout the first few days, but the buzz bait was in my mind the whole time. Like I knew that was the first thing I figured out in practice. Like I hadn't been up in that area since my rookie year. In my rookie year, that area didn't play at all. But 2 years ago when we were there, that's where a lot of the fish came from. And I like put in and I just ran a little ways and put the trolling motor down and was throwing the buzz bait, and I caught one like right away, and it was like a 1.5 pounds or like a good one for there. And then I went a little ways further, caught another one. Then I ran actually into that bayou where I ended up going the 4th day, and I caught like 6 or 7 just fishing fast through there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is easy. Like this is easy, because they were all nice ones too. And like, and then once, but you had till about 9 o'clock, and then that bite stopped. But then I was just getting them flipping. Like I just go on the bank flipping and get bites. So like, it was just, I don't know. Everything was just working. I couldn't do anything wrong. I was just catching them everywhere I went.
It was your time, man.
Why do you think
Yeah.
nobody went in the bayou?
Well,
like
I
was
saw
there water? Somebody said, I thought I heard maybe John Cruz or somebody say that the water was really dingy or something the first day in the closer to the ramp I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
I mean, yeah, that was like right by takeoff on in Orange there on the Sabine. That was bad. It was blown out. Like it was high and muddy and like because they had. I mean, when I stayed on the camp on a camp at the campground, which was on the Louisiana side, and it was half flooded. Like the water was crazy high because they were just dumping water out of Toledo Bend. So a lot of that stuff around takeoff didn't play as much this year because it was so high. The last day it did when all them guys, somehow decided to stay, but they were all fishing up where I was the first day.
mhm.
But like for the most part, it seemed like the majority of the fish were where I was at they were on that main run because like I caught them in that first bayou, but then I fished a ton of other bayous up through there, and I didn't catch very many. So I think most people saw the same thing. I mean, I'm sure there was other fish caught in them, but it seemed like the majority of the fish were out in the main run of Taylor's or Hildebrand. Like that's just what it seemed like. Why I don't know. I mean, I don't think the water was necessarily cleaner on the main run. I don't know if it just had to do with deeper water. I really don't know. Because after I caught him in that first bayou, I'm like, I'm just gonna go fish all the bayous, and I did, and it wasn't good, other than that one.
Hmm. Was there current on the main run?
A little, but like the tide, because it's a tidal fishery, but where we were so far up, and plus there was a saltwater barrier. So I personally don't think the tide, especially where I was way the heck up there, like I don't think there was much tidal effect. I mean, maybe a little, but I mean, there was definitely some wind driven current that I could see at times, because it was windy most of the days. So that did create definitely some current, but it wasn't crazy. I mean, it wasn't like crazy current. I mean, it maybe positioned a little bit, but like I wasn't keying on that at all. I was just covering water.
What do you mean when you say saltwater barrier? I'm a dumb redneck from southeast Kansas. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, so there's like, it's a coastal water, and so it's brackish. So it's a fresh and saltwater mix. And obviously, like the closer you get to the actual Sabine Lake, which is part of the Gulf, I think, that's all saltwater. And then as you get further up in these rivers, there's more fresh water. And so what they do is they put up these barriers that they can actually close them and reduce the amount of salt water that gets into those freshwater areas.
Oh
So
wow.
so it's basically like a little lock. I mean, you pull up to it and they just open the doors and you drive through.
Hmm.
So I know there's one on the Natchez, and then there's the one on Taylor's Bayou. There may be some other ones, but those are the only two I'm familiar with.
Well, I was gonna ask because it's like, is there some telltale sign? Okay, I've made it into the fresh water or something, So
There
I just
really isn't. That's when I went there too. Like I'm buddies with Bob Downey, and we're like, well, what do we do? Just like stick our finger in the water and see if it's salty? Like we don't know because like you'll catch redfish. You'll catch redfish up in them rivers and flounder, and I just think those fish down there they can handle the salt water. Because you'll catch them. I mean, you can catch them out around where it's in the intercoastal, but not very many of them. There's just certain areas that have populations of fish, I think, just because that, they'll find that better water and that's where they want to be. Now, it's definitely still has saltwater influence, but when you're way up in a river, it's a lot less than if you're out on the intercoastal or around, where the bulk of the saltwater is. They'll always, you can find like sometimes people will find like a little pipe or something with fresh water coming out. And that'll be, and then if there are fish in that area, they all congregate there. I mean, that happens a lot there. But as far as like knowing like, oh yeah, that's salt water, or I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, I have learned a little over the years down there that like certain types of vegetation doesn't seem to grow as good in the salt water. And then just certain types of bank grass grows Like if you see that, most of the time it is more saltwater. I've learned that, but I mean those are just kind of theories and observations. That's nothing scientific other than my experience down there. But you could be in some of the most beautiful looking water and you won't get a bite. You won't get a bite from a bass anyways. That's the hard part down there is there's so much good looking water, and Pascatank was the same way. I mean, you'd have just beautiful looking water, but there's no bass there because the water's not right, and there's not a population of fish.
Interesting.
It's like Venice. You know, I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
if you've
probably
ever-
similar.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to Venice, but I mean, I got Louisiana buddies club that fished Louisiana Bass Nation, and they have tournaments way down in Venice all the time. And I'm like, how do you tell? How do you know where to go?
Yeah.
You know?
Just years of experience. And then if you look at like the Sabine, I mean, there's like 4 general areas where they catch them. And it's like you can go and try to find some off the wall deal, which has happened. I mean, it's been one. Like them guys run all the way over to wherever Trinity River, and like guys have done well over there, but like it's not common to do that. It's like it's gonna be one in Taylor's, it's gonna be one by Takeoff, or it's gonna be one in the Natchez. That's pretty much it.
Did anybody run over there this time?
I didn't hear of anybody. I really didn't. I
thought
mean,
maybe they put it off limits or put it.
no,
No.
they didn't. I didn't hear. I didn't. You know, usually Brock or Zaldane's gone over there. Like there's people that have tried it, but I think some of them probably looked at the wind forecast too.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, that's like 100 miles or something. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and then you get over there and there's like 2 canals they catch them out of. So if somebody beats you over there, then it's going to be tough. But,
Yeah.
and that helped me too, is like, I usually fish in the Natchez River there. That's where I've done well in the past. You know, and after the first day of practice, I had a good day up in Taylor's. I'm like, I have to go over to the Natchez and check it out. And I put in over there, and I didn't mess around trying to do anything dumb. I just ran right to the area that I like to fish, and it looked bad. I caught 2 tiny bass and a redfish, and I basically was there for about an hour and a half. And instead of fighting it and trying to like find somewhere there, I just drove back to the landing, put it on the trailer, and went back to Taylor's. So I had to go check it, but I didn't think it was right. I just boogied and like didn't waste a lot. Like the younger me, I would have been like, well, I'll find them here somewhere, and I would have wasted a whole day. But instead, I went back to where I was the first day, and I dissected it even more and found even more spots, and just like, because usually when I do good in them bodies of water like that, where they're really vast or tidal, like I find one area, and that's where I stay through the whole tidal cycle, and just like I just fish in there and find and that was an advantage to me. That's why I was able to pull up on some of them spots and know that there was one little isolated piece of wood, and I would catch them on it. You know, like because I had spent 3 days in there essentially and dissected that area and just had a lot of good little sweet spots.
Did you catch fish on the same piece of wood different days?
Absolutely. Yep, I did.
Nice.
Several. Yep.
I think there was a bunch of pros that their boats were still hung over from the Pascatanks, why they didn't run up the Trinity.
Definitely.
All took.
I mean, it would have been. I mean, the Pascatank was a whole nother beast. I mean, that was, you know, some of the roughest. That was the roughest water I've ever been in. But a cool place. I mean, I had a good first day, but I had a bad second day. But it's a cool place for sure. It's somewhere I would go and fish for fun. I mean, it's a cool place.
So you caught him on a buzz bait, and this buzz bait is eluding the internet now. It's pretty much blown up in the tackle store. So,
and it's a regional favorite.
It's that time of year too, right? I mean, it's post spawn. It's time to
mine shipped today.
show us the ins and outs of this buzz bait, and talk about what you like so much about it, and what kind of sets it apart from others, and let's see this shiny little devil.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, like how it started was I used to really like the old original Lunker lure buzz baits. That was the one I really liked, and I had one that was like just like I had it forever, and it was tuned so good, it ran so nice, sounded good, and I actually lost it on a really big one, broke me off on Lake Fork, and I like went into a panic, and I just couldn't find a buzz bait that I really liked. Or you'd take them out and they would go run off to the left or off to the right, and you couldn't get them to sound right. And I couldn't find one. And I was watching some FLW or MLF, whatever it was called at the time. I was watching one of their events, and a guy was fishing on Lake Murray way up in the river, and he was throwing this buzz bait. And before he even talked about it, I'm like, oh, that thing just sounds so good and it runs good. And he was catching them. And then he said it was a Berzalo custom. So I'm like, huh. So I looked, I'd never heard of them. So I looked them up, and I'm like, that looks good. So I ordered probably, I don't know, maybe a dozen of them. And they make two different size blades. I think this is the C blade. This is the bigger one. I mostly threw the smaller blade originally, and then from when we were at the Sabine in years past, I remember Josh Douglas telling me, he's like, yeah, you got to throw a bigger blade on a buzz bait. And I'm like, okay. So I tied this one on, and I wanted it gold because I like gold blades on tidal waters. Even on my spinner baits, I just like gold. I don't know why. It might be bad, but that's what I like is gold. So this has a bigger gold blade, and then it has a brass bead, but it's not fixed. It slides and it rotates. So when that blade hits it, it doesn't get bound up like some other clackers. It can get bound up because it's stationary. So this, when it rotates, that bead will rotate too. So it's always free. The other thing they do, I don't know if you can see on there or not, they actually tie braid around the line tie. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw that at first, I'm like, that's dumb. Like, my line's not going to slide down. I didn't understand why they did it. But why they do it is then it increases the rigidity of the bait. So if you get a bite or the blade flexes, it just makes everything tighter and you get a better hook set on it. Which, once again, didn't think about until the guy explained it to me. But it makes sense because this won't open up at all. That gap won't open up right here. Then the other thing they do is, 99% of buzz baits, the wire is straight.
Mm-hmm.
See how this has got a drop, and it's a calculated drop specifically designed for a toad. And so what that does is that makes the toad run half 5/8 under the surface. It's not on the surface. And this is out, once again, something I always notice when I fished it, and when I caught them on it, they don't like blow up on it like on a lot of buzz baits. They don't come up and like there's this massive explosion. And I never thought about it, but he said he designed it to keep that bait down lower so they get it better. He said, because they'll always get it better when it's a little bit under the surface. So he said the majority of the time you'll just see a swirl, which if you pay attention to the bites that I got, that's what it was. It just kind of comes up and there'll be a little swirl and the bait disappears. And 99% of the time, I don't throw a trailer hook on it. 99% of the time, it is all the way down their throat. And you can watch it in the footage. Even though 12.5 inches, like I got to dig it out of their throat. So that is in part because of that drop down, which once again, I didn't think about any of that when I bought it. I just bought it and it ran good. I caught fish on it. That brass clacker. I mean, it's just like mesmerizing, the sound. I mean, you could listen to it all day coming across the water, and it stays in tune. Like it runs straight. Now, every once in a while, if your toad gets out of whack, you'll have to straighten that out. Obviously, if you catch some fish, you might have to tweak it a little bit, but overall, I mean, it holds up a lot better. Than the majority. You don't have to tune it as much as a traditional buzz bait because of all the little mods that they did to it. And they're all handcrafted. It's all US made. I mean, it's just an awesome buzz bait. And I mean, I didn't have any affiliation with them at all. I mean, I had paid $10 for them or whatever, like everybody else. And, I had no intentions of like blowing them up, but like Bath definitely planned it properly because I like was re-rigging it, sitting down, and then they must have asked the camera guy to ask me. And I was like holding it in my hand, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to lie about this. Like they kind of had me. So then I had to say like, yeah, they don't sponsor me, but it's a Brazalo custom. And I was a little bit worried because one company that I work with, they make buzz baits and some other stuff, but like in my contract, I think if they really wanted to be dinks about it, they could maybe hassle me, but like I don't use any of that stuff that they make. I have a little bit of it, but I don't use it. It's primarily soft plastics that I use from that brand. So I was a little bit worried about that, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna lie to people, you know what I mean? So and it's cool. It's cool to see that company, like to know that what I did by being an honest person and giving honest feedback, like it had a significant impact on them. Like they are very, very appreciative. And I mean, might work some sort of deal with them, but like it's cool to know that I had that sort of impact on Brazalo because I said I didn't think anything of it. I just was using the bait that I like to use.
Can you hold that buzz bait up one more time? I'm gonna ask you. So where the rivet is on the blade,
Yep.
to the gap of the hook, is that different than some buzz baits also? I feel like that
probably. I mean, I know if you go on their website, he has a video or just on their Instagram page, he has a video explaining it. He told me some other stuff about the blade, which I don't know if I'm supposed to say, so I'm not going to say it because that wasn't in his video. But the blade's kind of unique too. So,
buzz baits you have, or the buzz baits that he's making, like all together?
Just the buzz baits that he's making. So, like this particular one. This one they don't even make anymore. So because this one, it's got like lead on the shank, where you thread the toad all the way up, which is what I like. I think the new version is called the Bushwhacker. I think this was originally like a Bushwhacker Pro Series or something. But this one's probably going to be coming back out soon. So, it's yeah. Which I'm thinking he's going to send me some of the new one. He's sending me a bunch of the new different ones that they have, but I only have 2 of this specific one, and I kind of wanted to retire this one, the one I actually used. So hopefully that other stuff gets here, but yeah, I think that mold's getting taken out of retirement, and they're going to be available, and I think they'll sell pretty dang fast. So,
You're probably right.
But for good reason. I mean, it's awesome. It's a good buzz bait. It's the best one that I found. That's why I throw it, and that's why I think that's what I said on live. It's like that. Yeah, this is the one I throw.
I mean, everything else they sold quickly. So, I mean, and I did the same thing you did. I saw you. I was watching you, and I'm like, man, that buzz bait sounds good. And then it was like 10 minutes later, you said the name. They asked you the name, and you said the name, and I missed it. And I'm like, so then I'm watching like forever, like say it again, say it again, say it again. And then as soon as you said it, I placed my order.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 hours or something. They were completely sold out, is what I had heard. And
mine shipped today. Today. They were delayed, but they said I got an email and said mine shipped today.
Yeah, he said they completely ran out of wire, so they had to order get rush shipments of wire. wherever they get them, somebody they know bends them for them. So like he said that was a hold up, but he said he said they should be pretty well caught up by like the end of next week or something, he figured. So, yeah, cool guys, cool company. It was really cool talking to them and just like how thankful they were to be like, made me feel good about myself and doing what I did. And a lot of other guys would do that, which I understand both sides of it because, a lot of companies, they'll kind of take advantage of that, especially if it's a bigger company, you may not even say what you're using, but they'll somehow get it out and they don't give you anything for it, but they'll take they'll take every dollar they can out of it. So not that they're doing anything wrong either. I mean, I've had other companies that, they'll send me baits if they see me. Like there are a lot of good companies out there, but not all of them are like that. I mean, and to help a small company like that have a significant impact. I don't know. I think it just builds on the story and makes it even cooler just to just the overall story of that week and catching them like that the last day and then having the story continue on with Brazalo and it's really cool.
Is there a special toad that you like to use that works better for you than something else?
There's two of them. So like this is a big bite tour toad. So the big bite tour toad and then the one other main one that everybody uses are the two that I like to use for different reasons. So like the tour toad it's got bigger feet on it. So it'll actually slow it down a little bit more and just push a little more water. And then the other one's got longer legs and smaller paddles. So it has a little less drag. So if you want to fish it faster, I was catching them on both. I mean, I think that week, I caught equal amount on both of them. So those are the only really two toads that I threw. I did order some of them, the Stanley Ribbits too, to try. I haven't fished them for quite a while, but I'm gonna try them too. But I mainly use the tour toad is my favorite. Like, I fish that a lot more on like just a light belly weighted hook, just buzz toading with no buzz bait on it. That's in my opinion is the best toad for doing that. And on a buzz bait, it's good too, just depending upon what you're looking for out of the bait.
And what about color?
I mean, I threw black,
You throw
black
that
or
all the
white.
time?
Well, black or white. Yep.
Yeah.
If it's more of a shad deal, then I'll throw white with a nickel blade. And then like that water on the Sabine, it just was a little dirty, kind of, I wouldn't say dirty, a little stained. And then so that's why I threw the black. I just thought they could see it better. And I said, I just like gold everything as far as blades down there, whether it's on a chatterbait or a spinnerbait. I just like gold in tidal water.
Makes sense.
And I think a lot less people throw gold on a buzzbait. Like they just, it's nickel is what they throw, or like a black blade. Like there's just now, you don't hear people talk about a gold buzzbait blade much, until last week. Now that's all anybody talks about.
Yeah. I got a black and black tied on right now.
Yeah. And that's good. I mean, I think especially for like on Grand, that's what you'd want. You want a black blade, black toad, probably 99% of the time.
Yep.
I like the buzzbait talk. It's a little bit better than FFS talk. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I like fishing that way too. I mean, I love fishing that way. I just, it was cool to win this way because, I mean, I don't even think Randy Blockett could say anything negative about that event as far as how we were catching them.
I don't know. Let's not get crazy here. Let's not go crazy here.
Yeah. I mean, he'll find something, but like, I mean, you got Koyu down there. He never looked at it, and he gets you didn't hear much talk about it this week, how he can't catch them or Taku without it, because them guys, then we don't hear about it, even amongst all the anglers that we fish against that complain about it. They didn't talk about it then because they got stomped by them guys punching grass and finessing them, off of concrete walls. Like now all of a sudden there's radio silence.
Yeah.
Pat, real quick, sorry, I did not mean to sidetrack. I've got to know rod reel line.
So the rod I like to throw it on is a 7'3" medium heavy fast action St. Croix Victory. So the Victory is kind of their, I'd say mid rod. It's around $200. But it's got a fairly parabolic bend, which I think is key on a buzz bait. Because I like to throw it on straight 50-pound braid. Some guys will throw fluoro, some guys throw mono. Then you can get away with a little stiffer rod, but that's the setup that I have found to be the best for me. It's actually the same rod and I throw a swim jig on. Swim jig, a lot of times I'll throw 30 or 40-pound braid, but it's just got the right action where it has enough power when you hook them to get them in. It has enough flex to, make a good cast and let them eat a little bit. It's just a little more parabolic than some of the other rods out there. So that's the setup that I prefer.
Cool. I found myself over the weekend having a little bit of issues with a buzz bait. So it's good to know. I'm going back. I was throwing, I can't even hardly hate to admit it. I was throwing monofilament yesterday, just experimenting. Because I thought maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I use fluorocarbon and I use braid, and so I'm just experimenting. But I was curious as to know if you were fluorocarbon or braid.
Yeah, I've thrown it on fluorocarbon before, but I just like braid with that rod, and then it's all about how they're eating it, if you're giving them enough time, how you're setting the hook, and there's a lot of variables in it, and sometimes they just don't eat it that good. And then a lot of times it'll come down to fine tuning the bait. Then it might be the blade color. It might be you might have to go to a swim bait instead of a toad. Or you might have to go to like a menace grub instead of a toad. Then it's all about just different variations of the bait if they're just not eating it good. You might have to go to a smaller blade, a bigger blade. That's where it comes down to, like, they're just not eating it good, then you can't really do anything about it. Besides, start making modifications and changes on your bait.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the jig a little bit too.
Yeah, so that jig is a Do It Molds weedless compact finesse jig. I didn't bring that one down here, but it's a small finesse jig, and it called for a little different hook in the actual mold, because I start with a bare hook. Bare hook, I pour the lead, I paint it, I bake it to cure the lead or cure the paint, hand tie the skirt, glue the weed guard in, trim it all up like it's all 100% crafted by me. So I put a little different hook in there. I honestly specifically made those jigs for the Sabine. I put a little 2-aught hook in it, but it had a good gap on it. It was a little bit heavier wire. I put a little stiffer weed guard in there because I knew the type of vegetation I was fishing, and the rod and the reel, everything I was going to use it on. And I had a specific trailer I made it for, that little big bite chunk. Like, I made that for the Sabine, and I actually made a video the first day of practice. Like, if you go back on my Instagram, I was out on the water, and I just, because they want you to do little videos, and I made a video. I'm like, yeah, I made this jig specific for the Sabine, weedless compact finesse, black blue, sapphire blue, big bite chunk, and I'm like, compared it to a normal size jig. Like, the first day of practice, actually, I did it in the bayou where I ended up catching them the fourth day, because I'm like, I just want to do this right away and get it done. So yeah, it's just a real compact little jig that they ate it really good in practice. They ate it good the first day, and then the second day I missed one. I kind of hooked one and lost it, and then I lost a nice one at the boat, and then I had to put it down. It just stopped biting it. They didn't bite it as good. they just were either getting smart or I don't know. So then I ended up catching a lot of them on a little, just a little creature bait.
And what's your rod and reel line for that?
Same rod. I flipped with the same rod I had the buzz bait on, except for I was using 18-pound Sunline shooter. That's same rod. And then I was using just like a 2-aught straight shank hook on the Texas rig creature bait. And then on the jig I actually had on a 7.3 medium heavy fast St. Croix Legend tournament. So the same length and action, but with that Legend tournament, it had a little more power, a little bit more power for that jig. Just because of that stiffer weed guard, I wanted something a little more backbone to it. But yeah, that was it. That's what I caught every fish on. Besides, I think I ended up weighing 2 or 3 on a drop shot.
So, are you completely out of pork? Is that why you went to the creature bait on the back of your jig? 'Cause
You
when
say
you were on
pork?
the show, yeah, because
Yeah.
when you were on the show last time, we all went out and found every piece of pork within a 5-state area
True.
because
Yeah.
that's what.
Yeah. I did not, because I probably honestly could have, but like that jig I had, it would have been, that hook would have been a little small. I think I'd have had more potential of that getting balled up on there because I was threading the chunk on.
Mm-hmm.
They probably would have bit it good, but I would have had to go to a bigger, a regular jig. And I throw the pork, once the water gets a little warmer, I don't throw it as much. I really throw it more in the spring and in the fall. I mean, I actually had a guy just ask me that today, like, do you ever throw it in the summer? I don't. I'm sure I could, and it would bite it. And I have caught them on in the summer, but it just seems like I use it more cold water, cooler water.
Yeah.
I had it in the boat. I had 3 jars of it in the boat.
I mean, the last time you were on the show, after you were on the show, we all, dug through every piece of old tackle areas that we could find, and if we didn't find any, then we were buying it. So
Yeah,
I had to soak all my jars in WD-40 just to get the lids off.
yeah. Those are the good ones, then. Those are the good ones if they got the metal lid.
yeah.
I fleeced my dad's tackle box a bunch when I was young.
Yeah. No, I like throwing a jig. I like throwing it with pork, but I probably should have tried it, but I don't know. I was just dialed in on that. That was they were biting it good.
You were dialed in. I mean, it seemed to me like you were very confident.
Yeah, I was. I mean, with my practice, like I talked to Justin Atkins a lot and Bob Downey. They're kind of the two I compare notes with. And Atkins, like, he calls me like 10 times a day on the water. He just like gets bored or wants to talk. And like every time he'd call me, I'd be like, I got another one. And he's like, I can't believe how many bites you're getting. He's like, you've had more bites while I've been talking to you than I've had all day. And I'm like, yeah. I said, I don't know. I told him exactly what I was doing, like baits and type of stuff. And it just seemed like I couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, in the tournament, I was calm and confident, and like I wasn't stressed at all. And even when they're like interviewing you, and it's like they want to stress you out because they're like, oh, you got to be feeling the pressure, and man, you're probably really stressing about tomorrow. And I'm like, no, whatever. And part of that's because my year had been so bad, and I was just like, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna go fish, and whatever happens, happens. Like, I think I'm going to get enough bites to have a good day. It's just a matter of if I get them in the boat and if I can get back. Like, I had enough bites every day in practice. I was fishing a little different than everybody else. Like, I just knew it was going to happen. Even on day 3, when I only had 4 fish and I didn't get my 5th one until 15 minutes to go. Like, I still felt like I was going to catch one the whole time. So you can't like manufacture that or make yourself feel that way. That's just how I felt. And I honestly, after the first day, I felt like I was going to win all week. And that's, yeah, I mean, I never feel like that. The last time I felt like that was the nation championship on Pickwick. And then it would have been on Seminole. Those times I felt like I was going to win. But other than like Toledo Bend last year on day 4, I didn't feel like I was going to win. But this one, I was like, when I woke up on day 4 and was getting ready to go, I'm like, I think I'm going to win.
So do you enjoy the quote unquote grinder tournament that they, you hear guys talk about? Like, I think that's kind of what's appealing about the Sabine. You would think that the anglers wouldn't want to go there ever, but I think they do. At least a good chunk of them do anyway, because I feel like everybody feels like they got a shot.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, because they do more so than a lot of other places. You have a chance to do well. You catch 1 4-pounder, and that makes your whole tournament, and you could
Yeah.
potentially win. So, and then the other thing too is like, have you ever been to Orange, John, for any
yeah.
event?
Oh yeah.
So it's not like the roads are bad, really bad.
Yes.
Like just kind of the overall vibe down there is just, it's not somewhere I would take the wife and kids on vacation per se, but
Yes.
they treat us better than any other community we go to.
Yeah.
Like the fans that show up are all like genuine and happy and like love having us there. They have a like a fair at like a giant carnival at the weigh-in. They have live bands. I mean, they just like, they treat us so good. And just to see like the excitement and the joy that it brings a lot of the people in the community, like that's what's cool to me. It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to watch the coverage and like go buy a VRBO down there and like rent it out and then go down there and fish for several months out of the
I'm
year.
not building a lake lodge on the
Yeah,
Sabine
you're
River.
probably not building the lake lodge down there, but I mean, I think it's really good for the community to have us there, and they make us feel, I mean, everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Like they all know who we are, and it's not like going to Gunnersville where they see big tournaments all the time. Like when we roll into town, like you getting the horn honks and the waves just from people.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel kind of like, that you are a little special to be doing that. So that's the other reason why they go there.
There's just a few places like that. They're rare.
Boy, the Pasca tank is another
Waddington,
one.
Waddington is like that,
Yep.
and Waddington is a tiny town, like a
Mhm.
tiny town.
Yeah.
But they show up for there. They show up there. They show up at Orange. I've never been to the Pasca tank, so I don't know about that one.
That was crazy too. The people because that once again, that area was, it was fine, but like I stocked like normal. So I had to work day 2 or day 3 at the expo, and it was raining and cold and windy. And I'm like, Ben, the Yamaha guy, I'm like, dude, ain't nobody going to show up. And he's like, I don't know. It's been pretty busy. There were so many people there all day long, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So they'll be back there too. That's another town that seems like they like to have us there. Granted, they haven't had a lot of big events, so we'll be back there too. So that's where it's neat to see that and like feel appreciated from a town for sure, and its people.
Yeah. What's next? Where do you go next?
I leave for 10 Killer. Yeah, I leave
right
like
up the road.
next, I think Friday or Saturday I leave for that. And then that's just a week. That's one event. And then I can come home and I'll be home for like a month, and I can I'm going to go practice in lacrosse for a week and fish some local, or maybe one local tournament, I think, but then just like maybe go to the cabin for a few days, just like have a little time to unwind. And then we go to St. Clair, which is only like 8 hours away. And then there's a week between, and then we go to lacrosse, which is like an hour and 10 minutes from the house. So I don't have to drive 23 hours for the last 2 tournaments this year. So that's kind of nice.
And I imagine you're really looking forward to lacrosse.
Yeah, I am. That was the one I had circled all year when that came out on the schedule. Like I love it down there. I've got a lot of experience on the river. I'm very comfortable fishing down there. I have a really good understanding of things, which doesn't necessarily mean I'll do well, but I'll be, if stuff sets up right, like I'll hopefully be a factor for sure.
Yeah, that's always a good one. That's always a good one.
I look forward to having you on the show after you win that one too.
Yeah, I will be. I mean, I'll come on, but I wouldn't like set aside the time slot yet. But I mean, I'm gonna put in a lot of work, and I've put in a lot of work. Since that last one when we were down there, I didn't do that good. I put in a ton of work. I mean, I fished the upper pools a lot more than like pool 4, 5, 5A was what I would call my home pools. But one of my best friends lives in lacrosse, and I fished down there for 10 years with him in tournaments and fun fishing, and like learned a lot from him. It's kind of sucks this year because I can't hardly have a conversation with him because I'm so paranoid, like I can't really talk fishing with him. But I've got a lot of I know how to get around down there is one of the main things. I just know how to navigate. I understand the lock system. A lot of them guys are too scared to lock. And I still get a little, creeped out about it at times, but I've done it hundreds of times. Like I understand it better than most of those guys. So I'll have some advantages if it plays out the way I'm hoping it plays out.
What do you think it'll take to win that tournament?
It's hard to say. Last year the weights were really high. If all year they were crazy high. Like it used to be like a multi-day event. If say a 3-day event, like if you had 16 pounds a day, you had a chance. And 15 pounds a day was good, like real good, like top 10 good. But last year the weights were, like 15 pounds. You weren't getting checks. You were like in the middle at the best. But last year was an anomaly too because the water was super high and the vegetation never really grew. So there was a lot less areas that had vegetation. So it really concentrated the fish. So the weights were a little bit skewed. But the weights have been getting bigger and bigger down there the last few years. So, I would think in a 4-day event, like if you have 16 and a half pounds a day that time of year, you're going to have a chance of winning. Now, it might take a little more than that, but if I had 16 and a half pounds a day right now, like I would take my chances.
All right, I'm marking that down in the back of my
Yep.
fantasy fishing brain.
That's what I think. It could be more, but that time of year can be weird too because it's kind of at the point where it's kind of early fall and it's not really cool enough for the smallmouth to really play a ton. But if it's the right fall, they could really play. And if the smallmouth come into play, then the weights can go way up. So there's just a lot of variables, but overall, I think 16 and a half a day is going to be definitely in contention.
Nice. And when are you going to St. Clair? What month? Is that July?
No, it's in August. So I want to say it's like second week of August is what I think it is. And then there's a week between that and lacrosse. Because lacrosse is like the last weekend in August, somewhere in there. Yep. So hopefully I can have 3 decent events and make the classic. But if not, like I had someone ask me, like, would you rather make the classic or win an event? I'm like, I want to win an event.
Hmm.
Like that means more. I've made 4 classics and I'm thankful for it. But I mean, winning the tournament, that gives you the potential to maybe take it to the next level. So,
Yeah.
and, and I got one. Like I'm so happy to have a big trophy like that. I mean, I've got the nation championship. I got a regional championship. I've got hundreds of local tournament trophies. I got state tournament wins. I don't have an open win, but that's okay. Like I'm done with that. Like I probably
There's a
won't
lot.
get one of them.
There's a lot of guys that don't have one of them big blue trophies.
Yep, exactly. That's why like I want more, but I'm super thankful to have one. And I mean, if I get more, great. But if not, I can always look at that one and think about it and have it. It's pretty special to me.
But now you think you are back in you're back in the running to make the classic, maybe.
Yeah,
If
for
you
sure.
have,
I'm only like 40 points out.
yeah. So
I mean, I think I was in 89th. I think I was in 89th before Fork. And then I moved up to like 74th. And then I moved up to, I think, 56th. There's 56, I think I'm at now. So yeah, I'm definitely in striking distance.
yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of, you need about 500 points is what it
Hmm.
typically takes. And I've got 309. So I need 190 points. So basically I got to get like roughly a top 40 ish range, somewhere in there to have a chance. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about it. If it happens, it happens. I just am going to try to stay focused and fish how I've been fishing the last 2 events. And if I do that and stay in that zone, then I'll have a good chance. But if not, if I don't make it, I'm not going to beat myself up because I mean, I turned a horrible, horrible season into a great season, regardless of what happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we hope it just keeps going.
I hope so too.
I got one more question about have you ever do you have much experience on like Lake Erie, the Detroit River side?
No, zero,
Ah, bummer.
zero.
I was going to ask you if you thought a guy could, because the nation regionals up there,
Uh-huh.
one of the regionals. And I was wondering if you think a guy, so if they have, I don't know how many boats they'll get. They might get 200 maybe. So top 20 will go to the championship.
Yep.
You think a guy can make the top 20 fishing the river?
I've never been in there. I mean, I know there's been a lot of tournaments where high places have come out of there, but I have never been down there at all. So I've only been on St. Clair for that last tournament we had a couple years ago. I went out there and pre-practiced for 4 or 5 days and then fished the tournament, but I never went down there. But that's taken out of like a ways out across Erie, isn't it?
No, it's taken out of the river, like right at the mouth of the river.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
South, the Erie side, the Erie end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some town right there, I think they're taken out of.
Yeah, I have no idea. You would know better than me because
I would consider going up there, but I'm not gonna. I would not even attempt to try to compete catching smallmouth out on Erie, probably because I just don't know anything about it.
yeah, I have no
But I
idea
feel like I
either.
could go in the river and catch largemouth.
Yeah,
I
I
just don't know
really
if you
don't know.
catch enough to make the top 20.
All I know is that weights that have been coming out of St. Clair lately, like I mean, 18, 19 pounds don't mean anything anymore. Like
Yeah.
that's just like you got to have 20 to even be in the conversation of making a top, like having a good finish.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. I don't have any advice for you.
Well, I probably won't go anyway, but
Yeah, you're going to be cleaning rooms or vacuuming.
well, I mean, that's the only regional that I could possibly make because actually we're pretty slow in July and August, so because there's no tournaments.
Hey, are you going to fish that Costa event down there on your lake?
I just entered.
I think Costa asked me to come down there,
Yeah.
and work it. And then Shields is like the big sponsor of it now.
They are.
So
Mhm.
I think there's a good chance I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be fishing it, but like just doing whatever they tell me to do, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a chance I'll be down there. It's not like locked down yet, but the guys from Costa asked me to go, and if I can get, I'm sure Shields will want me to come down there, and so I
Mhm.
might be down there. I
Yeah, I think
might be
there's a
able to
big
cheer you on.
activation. Yeah, I think there's a big activation at Shields on
Yeah.
Saturday or something. So
Yep.
yeah.
That's going to be part of my task tomorrow is to call the guys at that store down there, the Tulsa store, and see if they want me to go and make sure they'll pay for my way to come down there and stuff. And then,
There you go.
I'll probably come down there. So,
Have them buy you a room at the Lake Lodge so you don't have to get up early in the morning to go to launch.
yeah, I would too. I don't know how it works. Like, I don't know. So dynamic sponsorships. I don't know if you know Luke Stoner or not. He
I do.
runs all the stuff for them,
Yeah.
so he's the one who asked me. So I don't know how if they just are like, this is where we're staying. I really have no idea. This is all stuff I just talked about them a little bit. But he didn't even know the dates when he told me. So I just saw yesterday they posted the date.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely stay there.
Mhm.
But you'll probably be,
It's 3-night minimum that week.
what is it?
It's a 3-night minimum that weekend.
So you'll be packed full, won't you?
We should be. We should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, if they'll let me, you'll see. I don't know. I gotta get the details of it first.
Hey, check out who just joined the chat.
Can you see the comments on your right side there, Pat?
I don't see any comments.
Okay.
Hold on. I don't see anything. I just see it. You're in the show. I don't see any comment.
Oh, okay.
Rosalo Custom Lures just commented in the comment section. Says I keep hearing that buzz bait.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, I was hearing it too. You're spinning.
I was too.
Yeah, it's hard. I can't even not listen to it when it's not even in the water.
Every time you flip that blade with your finger, he's got it's like a cash register going.
Yeah, that's what he's hearing. It's just the money racking up. Yeah, that's good.
I just hope are you fishing Saturday, Kyle? Big Hill?
No, I'm just fishing
bummer.
grand.
I'd kind of like to beat you with a Rosalo Custom Lures buzz bait. Hopefully it gets here in time.
Well, hound them. Tell them to speed ship it.
It's already in the transit. They're
Oh,
not that
they'll
far
get there.
away. They're not that far away, so
you'll get it.
It should get here.
I had to expedite some shipping from Tackle Warehouse a little bit ago before the show started because their shipping is like ground shipping or whatever from Tackle Warehouse was saying like June 4th.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's crazy. Sometimes you get it and you order it and you'll get it in 3 days, and then sometimes it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, so I expedited it. I was like, screw it.
I usually get it pretty quick from them.
Well, that's because you're special.
Nah, I don't. I'm just lucky, I guess. What is
Okay.
Danny doing?
What's that?
I said, what is Danny doing? Oh, he must have stepped away. That picture scared me.
Yeah, that's a scary picture.
That's
All
funny.
right, you guys got anything else for me?
I don't think so.
We said we'd try not to keep you past a half hour. So
It's an hour and 10.
Oh, the half hour was the deal? I
Well,
wasn't on when they agreed to that.
I kind of just like to say it's kind of like with my wife when I say we got to leave by 4:30. So then really I know we'll probably be out of there at 5:30.
There you
So
go.
that's kind of what I did there. I figured it'd be an hour, but if I said an hour, then it would be 2 hours. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
hey, man, any time at all, we really appreciate you coming on and hanging out and giving us your rundown. And man, awesome to get to talk to you before and after. So
Yeah.
Yep.
good stuff. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me on, and yeah, hopefully I can come on again and have another story about a win. But
Absolutely. Congrats, buddy.
maybe I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
We're proud of you.
I know you are.
We call you one of ours. You're one of the OGs of this show. So like one of the first 2 or 3 people we had on. So we
Good.
appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to come on.
Maybe we'll have a chat this winter sometime.
Yep.
Yeah, I usually have a little more time then, so hopefully there'll be
Sounds
some
good.
more stories.
See you after your win or see you in October at the Costa.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Pat.
Yep, thank you.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Hey, not even going to ask you if you guys won because you guys don't keep score.
Nope. 2 innings, all batters. Everybody goes home.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I got to
So-
put on a jacket.
I know, and it's kind of a good problem to have. Putting a jacket on. Just so before we came on live tonight, we're just chit chatting with Pat and a few minutes, and of course, mid season, I totally did not expect him to come on for 2 hours at all. Those guys got to, they got to make hay while the sun shines. So while they're hot, they've got to take advantage of as many opportunities to promote as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if you can stay 30, 45 minutes, that would be awesome. And we would be totally cool with that. Oh yeah. I could do 30 minutes. Well, he did an hour and 10. So that's all right.
So
Good, man.
you guys read the comments?
Yeah.
Did you see what Brzalo put after that? Said he's teasing us, but he says Pat's about to learn about a new bait.
Yeah.
Mm.
We appreciate the folks at Rosalo joining us.
No kidding. That's pretty cool.
They probably don't get on very many high-end podcasts like this one.
I mean, yeah. We have a viewership of several.
I mean,
that's more than a few, right?
more than a few. Several.
It is very interesting to me, and I think it's really humbling, honestly, to see how big of a reach social media has in general, though. I mean, it's just kind of wild.
Yeah. You never know who's you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
That, it's kind of it's like doing this. I mean, we can see that how many viewers we have, on the live.
I can't. I still can't. Never have been able to.
Okay. Crank and I can see how many viewers we have on the live. But unless they comment, we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and we're getting between 850 and 1,000 views a week on each one.
Yeah.
If you think about it, that's a room full of people.
Yeah.
That's a room full of people. That's a lot. So,
Yep.
So we're a little backwards then, since we're kind of like Tucker last week. We had him on first because he was traveling, and Pat busy. Had a little thing at his little hometown dealership today, his home base dealership, whatever you want to call it, and more stuff to do tomorrow, obviously. So I guess now we're on local scene. So what's going on this coming weekend?
Down here, I believe there's all kinds of things going on down here. There's high school tournament, state championship or something. I think Bass Nation, or maybe it's TBF. No, I think it's Bass Nation. There's Future Bass. There's solo casters. There's I think Owasso Bass Club is starting their deal. Night deals, I think, are starting. The Thursday nighters start this Thursday. We've got ABA 65 tomorrow. That's the one I run. So it's busy. Busy weekend down here. We're full on the weekend, so that's a good thing. And ABA 58 is Saturday at Big Hill. And like I said, Future Bass, I think
Somebody's
that's what
excited back
Kyle
there.
and Moody are fishing, right?
yeah.
I think Moody's going to come down fish tomorrow, I think. I'm going to fish tomorrow. So, yeah, kind of busy weekend down here.
I missed probably earlier, but I'm sure Pat said what model of buzzbait he was throwing.
They don't make it anymore.
Which
Oh, really?
that I was a little disappointed in. Because I ordered 3 of the bushwhackers, which is the drop down. But I guess maybe if Rosalo is still on here, maybe they can explain the difference between the bushwhacker and the pro model, I think, that Pat was throwing. If it's just the weight, or if there's something different, or if the bushwhacker has a weight, I don't remember. I didn't look at it. I don't remember what I looked at. I just found the one that had the bent arm, and I bought it.
It'll work. It'd be all
That'll
right.
work. Yeah. I'm gonna have to keep that on my radar because obviously they're all sold out right now.
Well, like Kyle Kiki had said a few minutes ago about the reach of social media. And a lot of times it's just dumb luck timing too.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching that live, sitting on my couch, gulping my Sunday morning coffee, and I'm watching Pat swinging fish in a boat on a gold buzzbait, and I thought maybe I was dreaming. I loved it. And then he turned to the camera, and I saw that bead, and I cannot get my fingers to move fast enough to tag Brazalo to the Idle Zone page and share Pat's post from the day before and tagged the two together. But anyway, it happened.
Yeah.
I follow Brizalo on TikTok. I see all his TikToks. They're fun. Cool people.
Yeah. I mean, I bought it the same reason why Pat did originally. I mean, I was watching him throw that buzzbait, and I'm just thinking, man, that thing sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that thing sounds good. And then, like I said, he said the name, and I missed it, and I was like on my edge of my chair, waiting for the next time. And I was Googling and trying to find, something before he said it again. And then as soon as he said it, I went to their page and I didn't order a bunch. I ordered 3 of them, to try them out. And then like the next day I think I got an email or something that said they were back ordered or something, or maybe I sent an email just ask, because I figured they were sold out, and just asking, when they thought they would ship, and they said they were getting to them in order. So like if you're wanting one, I would go ahead and just order it, because they taking them in timestamp.
The question is that's what I was going to ask, was if it said sold out, did it allow you to still place the order?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not letting
Yeah, I don't
you.
think it doesn't even have the option to
Okay,
select.
so I got in before they were sold out, apparently.
Yep.
But they probably sold out shortly after I ordered, I guess, and they just had to fill them as they got them.
Yeah.
I tried to order some before the show, and it was the same thing. And I just got back on there, and so I'm just gonna have to keep checking. I don't know.
He must not be on here anymore, but I would like to know. I mean, you got it pulled up. Does that bushwhacker have a weight, a lead in the?
That's what I'm trying to look at and see. I'm
So
reading.
yeah, I mean
here.
it's not a, like, the head gets bigger as it goes closer to up the arm, so it's not identical.
But it's got a lead in it that you put the toad over.
Yeah, it's not I mean, see how it's kind of mushroom shaped the closer up the arm you get?
Yeah.
And then there's still weight more so down the shank.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not identical to what he was using, but
pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I think the difference between the regular and the pro elite is just the that when you put your bait on over that pro elite one, it covers the weight versus the other one is just like you have the head and then where the skirt material would go if you want to use a skirt. And
Yeah,
then
they
the
didn't
bait
have
would just
any
butt up against that instead.
They didn't have any pro elites when I was looking at them. I just ordered the bushwhacker.
Yeah.
you know how that plastic is on them toads, though. I mean, it's pretty forgiving, and shoot, I can even get a toad to go over the top of a war eagle head if I wanted to. So,
yeah,
but it sounds like they're going to be coming out with a Pat Schlapper special edition one. So
that'd be nice.
you know what I was gonna one of the comments I was gonna make when Pat was talking about that buzzbait is they were saying how they ran out of. He was telling us how they run out of wire and all that. But if you look at a buzzbait, it's not like this buzzbait is not. There's no way to mass produce it. I mean, there's so many little bitty pieces and parts on there. It probably does take a minute to make one.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of cool. They're still only asking $10 a piece for them because I mean,
I only paid $3.95.
Oh wow!
For shipping. Oh goodness.
I kind of have to disagree a little bit with the black on black, the theory black on black at Grand. I like black on black. I like black on black a lot. I also like white. Like white on white. A lot of people don't throw a white blade. I like a white blade sometimes. So
I think it's a confidence thing.
I'm a black
It's like
on black
anything.
kind of guy.
I've thrown old Blackie all over this country. Black
I
on
like-
black.
I like black. I like black when it's like, cloudy, fall, like one of them fun September, October days,
Mhm.
But I think there's like maybe a shad spawn kind of sort of going on down there a little bit in certain places. And I just white, mouse, something like that.
Mhm.
What's up, Max?
Hi.
How was your birthday?
Good.
How
got
old are you?
no shirt on.
What?
I got no shirt on.
I know you're over here showing off all your muscles that none of
Yeah.
us have.
How old are you?
7.
Whoa.
I got something that I can show you.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna show you it.
Okay.
Go get it.
I'm always down for some show and tell.
Show and tell.
I got something new too that I unpacked.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that.
Brand new.
All right.
Is that real?
Uh-huh.
Heck yeah.
Holy moly.
Is it real?
Are you old enough to shoot
Uh-huh.
that?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, he put the whole new meaning into you'll shoot your eye out. You can't even
Attaboy.
pull the string.
Hold on, wait.
You're gonna hurt yourself. Stop.
Ow.
You have to have proper training on that.
You're gonna have to work out a little bit to pull that draw that back.
It's hard.
You gotta work out.
I am.
Yeah, you gotta start eating.
Dad's gonna you gotta start picking up cinder blocks to get them arms built up.
You gotta start eating real meat, not just
No.
chicken nuggets.
No.
I
I want to.
Put it up before you hurt yourself.
Interpreting.
gotta figure out a place to put this thing.
That's outstanding.
Oh my.
I found
Nice.
that unpacking a box the other day.
Who's on me? Yeah. No, wrong way.
So, Crank,
This
did
one.
you do some fishing over the weekend? I seen a bunch of fish pictures come across.
I did. Just some little ponds. Well, small lakes and pond. So caught a few on buzzbait yesterday morning. Buzzbait, chatterbait, and Cinco. And then Friday I went and caught some on a chatterbait and the glida.
Ooh,
That was pretty fun.
On the glider.
Yep.
nice.
So they were hammering the glida.
Good time.
Oh yes, it was great.
They got
If you're
grass.
still watching, there's another clutch drop tomorrow. I don't remember which
I'll talk
model.
about that. It's the baby boss.
The baby boss tomorrow.
Yeah.
4:30. Be there or be square.
In the evening or in the in the morning?
Evening.
Yeah.
Is it like a situation where you have to be sitting with the order screen pulled up and the mouse fixing to click it?
Yep.
Yeah. And then refresh it. And then refresh it.
Really?
It's wild.
Wow.
So does he have you talked to Josh about that? Does he build his stock up like?
Yeah, he builds them for the drops.
Once he's filled tackle warehouse and everywhere else that he needs to build them for, then he builds them for drops.
So he just decides when he wants to get paid, essentially.
It's becoming that way, yes.
That's how a lot of the specialty lures are doing it now. That guy that juices jigs, that makes those hair jigs, was on BTL the other morning, and he was talking about that. And I didn't realize those hair jigs he makes, how much they are. They're $25, but they're tungsten, and apparently you can buy, 3 of them will last you a long time if you don't lose. If
Yeah, as long as you don't
muskie,
lose them.
if a muskie or something doesn't eat them. But that's what he does. He makes a bunch and then does a drop.
Are those like the marabous that they use up north, or are you talking hair jigs like you throw on a ledge at Kentucky Lake?
They're like that long. They're the feathers. I don't know what kind of hair they use, but
Bucktail or whatever it is.
they're long. They're like big, like a shad.
Oh, okay. Big heavy hair jigs, like
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
They use them here, apparently.
Yeah, Grand Lake bass they don't like shad, John.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
While we're paying homage to our smaller tackle people, Chris Johnson makes some pretty good stuff too.
Yeah.
With Arkansas Custom Tackle. He makes some really good looking hair jigs.
I should check that.
Arkansas Custom Tackle.
I should
Arkansas?
check that out.
Is that they have a website or?
No, I think he's kind of scaled back to. Let's see if I can just pull up his web page or his Facebook page.
That was like all that chatterbait I was using all weekend was one that I made myself.
Nice.
Yep. It's pretty fun catching them on something you put together on your own.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, wait.
Just me doing things over here. Talk amongst yourselves.
7 going on 17.
Yeah.
How many boats do you suppose you're going to have tomorrow?
I don't know.
I say 20.
You said 20? That'd be a good guess.
It'd be about right.
That'd be a good guess. Had a couple new guys call today. So
How much is it going to take to win?
Oh, I have no idea. You know better than me. You've been out on the water.
Say about anywhere between 19 to 21.
Yeah.
I mean, it's post spawn, so I
Daddy.
don't know that you're going to see another 24-pound bag for a while, but I guess you could.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe I'm in a whole different planet. Half the time when I'm fishing down there, I believe maybe I am, but
Just, I don't know.
I would think you're going to see a little bit more post spawn weights now.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so.
You're going to, this is my next question. How many white bass do you think you're going to catch tomorrow?
A lot.
None.
Probably a lot. I don't know. The way I fish, probably not that many.
Bass?
White
bass.
bass.
Uh,
The ones that when you hook them, they just go completely crazy. And if you're throwing treble hooks, you got to really be careful.
between 4 and 5.
So
Between 4 and 5.
when I catch a
4
white
and a half.
bass, when I
4.5.
catch a white bass,
Yeah, the money line's 4.5.
4.7.
I pin the white bass on the carpet with my boot.
Yep.
This is him with the white bass. This is him.
They can't see your foot smashing
Mm,
against the
this is-
carpet.
Then this is my daddy's foot.
You got to watch out for them guys. They're dangerous.
Yeah, they'll poke the crap out of you.
Poke you and cut you with their gills. And
You got to cut them up and
You
make
catch
some
any
tacos
wiper?
out of them.
Yeah.
did you catch any wiper?
Is that the one with the broken stripe?
I mean, you'd know.
Mhm.
They're a lot bigger.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think so.
I mean, I got in a school of whites and caught like 50 of them, 54 of them, but one of them was a 7-pound wiper.
Oh, wow.
And
That's a good time.
yeah. I'm like, what do I have here?
I had I hooked what I thought to be another giant largemouth on a crankbait, and it just never came up, and it was kind of dogging. I kept thinking, I think it's another bass, and it came up, and I had a big giant drum head like hooked on the top of its head, you know? And it took me for a ride. And then a few minutes later, I actually caught a pretty decent sized flathead.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
Danny, did you get that website figured out?
He posted it.
It's in the comments.
Oh, sweet.
It is?
Just on Facebook, just search Arkansas Custom Tackle.
Cool. I follow a Facebook. I think it's just like a Facebook group, and they make custom balsa square bills.
Oh, yeah. I'm in a couple of those.
Those are really cool groups to follow because they're just more art than they are anything. But Carolina Customs is one of them.
What's going on, John?
Nothing.
Okay,
I was thinking how quiet it was here. Riggins went home. Val took Riggins to Webb City, so it's kind of quiet around here. Kind of lonely.
It sounded like it started raining again here for some reason.
it is. It's spring. It was sprinkling and it turned all black for some reason. And now it's raining.
Speaking of storms, I had
Yeah.
so last week when I was mowing,
Yes.
the week after, a few days after that round of tornadoes went through,
Oh no.
I was mowing and I found a piece of 90-degree plumbing piece of pipe that was like, it was just laying on top of the ground, and I would have noticed it if it was there the last time I mowed or whatever. So I think it fell out of the sky from like a tornado or something.
That's bad.
And the reason why I think that is because about 20 feet from that was a jacket, an Oklahoma State jacket, like zipped up like it had been the laundry, like it came out of the laundry or came out of somebody's drawer or closet or something. And it was just laying there, like pretty close to that pipe. I have no idea where it came from.
It's crazy. Those storms.
It had to have fallen out of the sky. Both of those items.
It's absolutely crazy the way those storms work.
Yeah.
Did you go check the water in the pond out back?
I'm looking at the pond. What about it?
Nothing floating or anything out there.
Oh, no. Just a bunch of moss. Just a bunch of moss.
Since you brought it up, so that storm that went through Grinnell last week. Took the roof off the Catholic church, or I don't
Yeah.
know,
My wife showed me that.
and the candles were still burning.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That is super crazy wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crazy.
It's been crazy to me. So what do you think? I flipped the blanket over. This is a little more colorful on the viewer mail Bigfoot blanket.
When you got up for a minute before Pat left, he kind of scared him. Oh wow, John's over here doing magic with the
Did
light.
you see that? Did you see
Yeah.
that?
He's like,
I just went like that and the lights came on.
Crazy.
You didn't hear Val walk by, did you?
No.
nope.
No.
Funny.
Yeah. I hope the fish bite tomorrow. I'm ready to go fishing.
Me too.
And next weekend's the big bass tournament. And this
Oh.
year, if you catch a bass that weighs exactly 687, more than likely you're going to win the tournament, which is $100K, like Alex Torkelson did last year, and brand new truck worth like 65. So I'll be shocked if somebody caught a 687, they didn't win the tournament and win the truck, which would be $165,000.
It's kind of
Pretty
a cool
awesome.
deal. They just set a number
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it's an insurance policy. We used to do that way back in the day when you two were little. And we
He
had
made
our big
three of
we
us.
had we had our Make-A-Wish Big Bass tournament, hourly deal. We had radio stations giving hourly updates, and we had insurance policy, $10,000 for an exact. We'd pick a weight, and that's how those things work. You buy an insurance policy. They're basically gambling. Nobody's going to hit it.
Wonder what the insurance policy cost.
It wasn't that much back in the day, and we never hit it either. So it was like $500.
That's cool.
And we
Probably
gave
more.
Make-A-Wish a lot of money too.
We did
over the
give
years.
Make-A-Wish a lot of money over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, it could possibly be a good deal for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At one time, we were like, if not the largest, right up there near the largest Make-A-Wish donor, single like organization donor to Make-A-Wish in Kansas at one time. Event wise, like single event. It was a pretty cool deal.
Do you guys remember the quality Toyota tournaments back in the day on Big Hill?
I don't remember. I know you've talked about it, but I don't remember those.
Those were in that time, those were kind of the bigger money tournaments on the
Mhm.
lake.
Yep.
Jack, fishing in 3 weeks. That Kansas Bassmasters Club tournament.
Cedar Bluff.
I just want to go fishing. I don't even care. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I want to go catching.
Yeah. You all know. So you all know Brent Malone. He's the tourism guy here in town. They go to Minnesota every Memorial Day weekend, and he just got back. He called me today, and he posted a bunch of pictures on Facebook. They go up to the exact same. I think we've talked about this before, but they go up to the exact same area that I like to go to. If I was going to Minnesota, that's where I'd go, to this area. And he said it was a little tougher this year. They only caught 30 to 40 fish a day,
Oh darn.
and they only averaged about 3 to 4 pounds per fish.
Oh, that's terrible. To
What a
have.
shame.
Smallmouth.
Feel bad.
Mm,
Yesterday, I just wanted to kind of play a little bit. I wanted to mess around with my forward facing for just a little while, and anyways, I changed some settings on it and did this or that. So I took a rod and I tied a jerk bait on it and just fished the breakwater ends. And I mean, it's ridiculous how many fish are on the ends of those things, but it's like every cast. It's every cast until you educate the school. I mean, they're not big by any means, but it was kind of interesting to watch them come out of there and just attack, you know. Oh, wow.
Oh jeez.
That's a lot of brown in one picture.
That was the first one I came to, and I didn't want to look past that. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good time there.
oh, that'd be a blast.
Yep. So I've got a question for you all, and if you can't answer it, and maybe for the listeners too, you know, my granddaughter and I go on this. It's last year it was 100 fish challenge, and this year it's 103 fish challenge because that's the number we set. We try to break it every year. But being that the stong is August, and I had mentioned maybe fishing it with my granddaughter, thinking about bringing her down like the first week of August or the last week of July and doing our 103 fish challenge here. But I need the best, like, small lakes, you know, like your Bone Creeks, your Cedar Creek, your Wilson County, whatever, that aren't super far from us, you know, within like an hour and a half, 2 hours, that we can go to, and, you know, maybe either camp or get a cheap motel and stay near, you know, where we don't have to drive that far in the mornings. You know, we need like 3 or 4 of these different lakes where we can go to a different one each day and try to break the record. So I need numbers and decent fish.
Table Rock, Longs Creek, go out and throw a drop shot.
Not doing that. Not doing not doing that. My granddaughter's
Bass for days.
no, not doing that.
Well, I was going to say Buffalo, but you already said it.
Is that Wilson County?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably got the numbers in it, don't it, Danny?
Yeah. Joel Porter lives
Clearly.
right there.
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Clear
be
Lake.
right there.
Well, maybe Andrew fly you out there.
I would love that. I would love that. We'll
was
just
gonna
fly out
say-
there and you meet us, Andrew.
I was gonna say Yates Center, City Lake.
I've never
Yeah.
fished that one.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
And they're only, what, 10, 12 miles apart, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our club, no. I don't know. I fished I was like a Thursday night championship thing on it by surprise out there one Saturday. And there's just a little bit of gravel to drive or whatnot, but we caught a ton of fish. It's got some timber in it. It's not real big.
Okay.
I think
That's
there's
two.
I think there's 2 city lakes, Danny. Is that right?
Yeah, I think old and new.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we were on the new one, maybe. If you could get into the company lake at over by Parsons, but I don't know how good it is anymore. It used to be it was outstanding, but
Yeah. I think I fished it one time with Frank.
yeah.
That's two.
I would say another one, but I don't
Gotta
know.
have like 5 or 6 in case they just ain't biting on one. We can pick up and go.
5 or 6 drop shots.
No, I mean she's 12 years old and she doesn't fish that often.
A drop shot is like one of the easiest things to throw.
Hmm. It's not one of the most funnest things to throw, though. I also
That's
want
not-
her to have.
That's not true.
Mhm.
I love.
I
throwing
don't.
a
I
drop
don't enjoy
shot.
it. I don't enjoy it.
I do.
I don't enjoy it. I'm talking of more of a, like out of the water willow.
Yeah.
Some top water in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, in August, you're definitely going to be doing topwater morning stuff.
So Jack brings up Eureka City Lake, and that was my first thought, but it doesn't meet your within hour and a half or so criteria, because Eureka is 30 miles from El Dorado.
Yeah.
So you're just outside your time limit. It would definitely be worth your time to go there.
I mean, if we went somewhere like and stayed centrally, it doesn't have to be. I just don't want to drive like an hour and a half in the morning. So like if we started here and went and drove up to whatever, Bone Creek or Wilson or somewhere, Yates Center, and fished that area a day or two, and then moved a little farther west, just not all in one.
Yeah,
Like
because
last,
if you
like
stay in
last,
like Yates Center area, then Eureka's only another 30 minutes to the west.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's doable.
If
So
you
like last year we stayed in this little town that had 3 lakes within 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. We fished those 3 and stayed in that town for the first 2 days. And then we went to another, we drove an hour and went to another town that had 2 or 3 lakes within 20 or 30 minutes. And we fished those lakes for a couple days. That's kind of what I'm thinking about.
just as Kyle was starting to say there, if you did go to Yates Center, and just made that your headquarters, because
Mhm.
there's a motel there.
Yeah.
Eureka is 30 minutes back west.
Okay.
Madison City Lake is, I'm trying to think which direction.
It's north of Eureka.
Yeah, it's not quite 30 minutes from Yates Center, but it's north of Eureka, kind of northeast of Eureka. And then both Yates Center lakes and Wilson County, and all 5 of those are grass and wood and docks
And rock.
and rock.
And do they have potential to catch a, what's the big fish we're going to catch?
6.
Yeah, Yates Center City Lake, I would say 5 or 6.
Okay.
Eureka, definitely a 5.
And
You're going to catch walleye. You're going to catch walleye in that Yates Center City Lake too. So there, then you don't have to eat. You don't
got
have
to
to
buy
eat.
permits or anything for all them?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
Or you can just go to Table Rock.
Not doing that.
You can just knock it out in one day and be done.
Drop shot.
No.
Ned
Not doing
rig,
that.
drop shot, and a Carolina rig.
No, that seems extremely not fun to me.
You go shake a minnow up by the dam. You can probably get it done doing that too.
Even worse. Hmm.
Oh, I'm jealous of you guys and your fishing and catching and stuff.
We just need to go to Pratt, Danny.
Close. I'm close. I'm getting there.
I was going to offer to go this weekend, but I was looking at my calendar and I have stuff going on this weekend.
Me too.
I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday was a nice cap off to the weekend.
Yeah, it looks like you had a good day.
Yeah, it was fun. The lake was quiet. There wasn't hardly anybody there.
I just those are fun days. Being able to back them up is like a couple weeks ago when my dad was here, that day we had 19 was awesome. It was a fun day. And then we back it up with a 7-pound limit.
Trust me, if I had another day to go out and do it again, I would have tried and seen what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the simple fact that we take advantage of those days when you can get them.
That's right. Hopefully they'll bite tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You guys should have fun.
Yeah. But I'm not going to stay on here too late because I looked at my schedule and we're taking off at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're ready to take money at 4:30, you said.
Yeah. Means I got to get up at 4.
Yeah, I gotta get up.
I gotta get up.
I gotta get up before the rooster starts crowing too. So
I got to get up at 4 so I can be ready to take money at 4:30.
Yeah, so you can wake up,
What a struggle.
drive to the ramp, get his stuff out of the truck, and set up by 4:25, and have plenty of time to do it.
Oh, launch the boat. Launch the boat first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to launch before I start taking money, so I don't have to do it afterwards.
poor guy that's a hard problem to have on a Wednesday, ain't it, fellas?
Yeah.
Oh,
What a terrible Wednesday morning that will be.
He's not getting any sympathy from me, I can tell you that. I gotta go run a safety meeting at 6:45 in Joplin. So
You know, parting thought, and I had to run off screen there right when Pat was leaving, and I had meant to say that his win was a refreshing change from the rest of the season to this point.
Mm-hmm.
For me, at least.
I agree.
Drama. He's just fishing. Ain't nobody
Yep.
hating on anybody.
And there hasn't been any drama either.
No.
The
Isn't it
last two
funny how-
events, like I was like,
Interesting.
Bassmaster.com's creating some right now.
what are
But
they doing now?
that's neither here nor there. That's maybe next week's conversation, but
Bassmaster.com.
TNZ podcast.
What about it?
Oh, they're speculating on rule changes for next year already.
Oh, I think they're coming.
So, like I said,
We can talk about that next week.
they're creating drama as we speak.
Because why? Oh, yeah. Because people click on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe we should all get in a fight or something one of these nights. Or maybe this Bigfoot comes to life and like bites my neck or something. Something wild, you know.
He came to life. He came to life yesterday in the Royals game. See?
All that.
Yeah. The past
All that.
watch.
He was peeking through the doorway.
Oh, even better. Oh, good show. Pat's a good dude and a good guest. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe the YouTube channel. It's on the Idle Zone Syndicate Do-Over Facebook page. Share the live, share the link. You can always go back
Please.
and watch it. I've had a few people contact me and say, man, I missed it. I sure wish I could see it. Well, yeah, you can.
You can.
You can go back to any of the pages we share it on and watch it again at your own speed. And if you want to fast forward through us talking and just listen to the guest, you can do that. But then you miss stimulating conversation like this.
That's right.
Thanks again. Everybody have a great week. Good luck to John and crew tomorrow and the coming weekend. Peace, guys.